Welcome to Finding Mathematics page. In this video, we'll be talking about addition and subtraction of algebraic fractions. Alright, what do we mean by an algebraic fraction? An algebraic fraction is a type of fraction where the numerator and or the denominator contains an algebraic expression. So as you can see from the expression that we have here, in the I, we have 4x as the numerator, which is an algebraic expression. So when you take, the other fraction, we have 2x. It is also an algebraic expression. So you will see that all the fractions that we see here, in one way or the other, they contain an algebraic expression. And they are forming fractions as well. So together, we call them algebraic fractions. The opposite of these, types of fractions are numerical fractions. And numerical fractions they contain only numbers. For example, 2 over 5. So this is a numerical fraction. But when you write 2x over 5, it ceases to become a numerical fraction. And then now we call this an algebraic fraction. So let's know the difference between numerical fractions and algebraic fractions. But before we solve these questions, I want you to know that the procedure or the steps that we use in solving numerical fractions are actually the same as the procedure or the steps that we use in solving algebraic fractions. Let's take an example. Assuming we have 1 over 2 and then plus 2 over 3. How do we solve this? We have to find the LCM or the common denominator. The common denominator or the LCM is going to be 2 by 3, which is 6. We just multiply the denominators to get the LCM, that is 6. And then 2 goes into 6 3 times, so it's going to be 3. We just multiply the 3 by the numerator, which is 1. And then plus 3 goes into 6 2 times. So we just multiply 2 by the numerator, which is 2 also. So we're going to get, 3 plus 4 all over 6. And that's going to give us 7 over 6. So that is how we add numerical fractions. So quickly, let's come to our expressions here. How do we simplify these expressions? So let's start from the first one, that is I. So let's solve it here. We have I. The expression is 4x on 7 plus 2x over 3. And how do we simplify this? We have to find the LCM, and the LCM is going to be 7 times 3, and that will give us 21. So that's the LCM. So 7 goes into 7 goes into 21 3 times. And then we multiply this 3 by the numerator. So it's going to be 3 times 4x. But the numerator is 4x. You have to see that. And then plus, we come to the next one. 3 goes into 21 7 times. You have to multiply 7 by the numerator, which is 2x. 2x. So we are going to get 12x. That is 3 times 4x will give us 12x plus 7 times 2 is going to give us 14x. 14x all divided by 21. So finally, we are going to get, 12x and 14x, they are like terms. So we can add them, and 12 plus 4 is going to give us, 26. So we have 26x over 21. And that's the final answer. So you see, it's not difficult. It's not difficult. You just have to find the denominator, the LCM, and then you simplify. So that's the final answer. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. So let's solve it here. Let me clear this stuff. Let me clear this stuff from here so that we can solve it here. Okay. I think it's going to be easier, simpler to use the eraser. So let me clear them quickly. Okay. Okay, so let's take the second one. That is I. So the expression is very simple. We have I, and that is 2x minus 3 on 6 plus 3y plus 4 on 5. Okay, so how do we simplify this one? So we have to find the LCM, and the LCM is going to be 30. That is 6 times 5. That will give us 30 quickly. So 6 goes into, 35 times. We just multiply the 5 by the numerator. So that's going to give us 5. Remember that this numerator is a binomial, so it should be kept in bracket. That's very, very important. Whenever you have a binomial, you just have to put them in brackets before you multiply. Remember, a binomial is an expression with two terms. So x plus y is a binomial. In fact, any expression with two terms, we call it a binomial. So that is a binomial for you. Okay, so let's come to the question. Let's continue with that. So we go to this point, you have to multiply 5 by the numerator, which is 2x minus 3 plus, and then 5 goes into 36 times, so that's going to be 6 multiplying the numerator, and the numerator is 3y plus 4. So let's multiply. Let's do the actual multiplication. So 5 times 2 is going to give us 10x, and then 5 times negative 3 is going to give us negative 15. And then we come to 6 times 3y is going to be, 18y. And 6 times 4 is going to be 24. Don't forget, it is all over, 30. All right, so let's continue from there. Then we can group like terms here. Let's group like terms. You can see that, negative 15 and out of 24, they are like terms that we can simplify. So let's group like terms. So we can collect like terms here, and that's going to give us 10 has no partner. 10x has no partner, so we just write the same thing. So you have 10x, you have negative 15 plus 24, and then plus 18y. So that is what we're going to get out over 30. Okay, so let's continue from here. Okay, so now we have 10x. So negative 15 plus 24. That means we're going to get a positive answer. So negative 15 plus 24 will give us positive 9. So we have plus 9 and then plus 18y and all over 30. So that's going to be the final answer. In fact, we cannot simplify this stuff again. So we just have to leave it here. And that's going to be the final answer. That is it. So we are done with the second one. Let's take the third one. The third expression is here. That's the third expression. So let's solve the third expression here. Okay, let me use the other color to solve the third expression. Okay, so the third expression, that is I, we have a minus 2b over 3, and then minus a plus 4b, oh sorry, this stuff now. Okay, over 6, right? Yeah, 6. Can go back and confirm that. That is 6. Yeah, so that is 6 here. Okay, so let's continue. So we have to find the LCM for 3 and 6, and straightforward. To get the LCM for 3 and 6, we can just multiply. So 3 times 6 is going to give us 18. So that's going to be the LCM. Now 3 goes into 8 6 times. So we just multiply the 6 by the numerator. And the numerator is A minus 2B. And then we have minus here. 6 goes into 18. 3 times. So we have 3 multiplying A plus 4B. Don't forget to bring the brackets because they are binomials. They are very, very important. If you don't bring them, you end up getting a wrong answer. So make sure you always introduce a bracket or parenthesis when we have a binomial. Okay, so now let's simplify. 6 times A is going to give us 6A. And then 6 times negative 2B is going to give us negative 12B. And then we are done with the first part. Let's come to the second part. Negative 3 times A. You see, I didn't say 3 times A, but rather negative 3 times A because this negative sign here is affecting the number. So don't take this one as 3, but rather negative 3. So negative 3 times A is going to give us negative 3A. And then negative 3 times positive 4B is going to give us negative 12B. So don't forget that it is all over 18. So that is all over 18. Let's continue from here. We can group like terms or we can collect like terms here. 6A, 6A, and that of negative 3A, they are like terms. And then the other guys are also like terms. So let's collect like terms. So that's going to give us 6A minus 3A. We come to the other part. So that's going to be negative 12B. That is this guy. So you have negative 12B. And this one, another minus 12B. And then remember, it is all over 18. So all over 18. Okay. So let's simplify. So 6A minus 3A, we just subtract their coefficients. So 6 minus 3 is going to give us 3. So we have 3A. And then minus 12B minus 12, negative 12B minus 12B is going to give us negative 24B. Don't forget that it is all over 18. So this line is not straight. Let me get it well. So that's going to be something like this. Very nice one. So that's the final answer for the II. So you can rewind the video, watch it over and over again to the best of your understanding. Then, you move on to the next one. So the last question, that is IV. Let's get it here and see how we can simplify the IV. Okay. Let me use the red ink for this one. So IV, that's the last question. And the question is x plus y all over, is it 3? Yeah. And then minus, we have 2x, that's a bracket of 2x minus 4y and all over 4. Good. So that's the question. How do we simplify this one too? So like we did for the previous ones, we just have to find the LCM. And the LCM for 3 and 4 is just simple. That's going to be 12. So the LCM is 12. Now 3 goes into 12 4 times. So we multiply by the numerator, and the numerator is x plus y. That is a binomial. So we have to put it in bracket. So it's going to be 4 into bracket. That is 4 times x plus y. And then we have minus. That's this sign. 4 goes into 12 3 times. This, we've already introduced a bracket, so we don't have any problem again. We just have to, multiply. So we have 3 times 2x. I think my x is not nice. Let me get it well. So we have 2x minus 4y. And then we can multiply. 4 times x is going to be this one. We have 4x. And then 4 times y is going to be 4y. Negative 3 times 2s is going to be negative 6x. And then negative 3 times negative 4y is going to be positive 12y. Remember that negative times negative will give us a positive answer. And then negative times positive will give us a negative answer. Also, positive times negative will give us negative answer. And then positive times positive will give us positive. So take notice of that. So let's come back to our step, the last but one step. So don't forget it is all over 12. Now we can collect like terms here. So we're going to get 4x. You see 4x and negative 6x, they are like terms. And then plus 4y plus 12y all over 12. That's the denominator. So finally, we are going to get 4x minus 2x, which is negative 2x. So we have negative 2x. And then 4y plus 12y is going to give us 16y. And then all over 12. So that is it. You see, it's not difficult. So you just have to find the LCM and then you proceed from there. Thank you for watching. Until we meet in our next video, it is bye.